Am I the asshole for not inviting a family member with a service dog to my wedding? I am getting married in August. My fiancé and I are having about a 90-person wedding. It's not that lavish, but we want it to be a party for all that come. We are paying for the whole thing ourselves, no help from either of our families. I preferred to keep the wedding smaller, and 90 is actually a cut-down list from 180. One of the people cut was a cousin I grew up with who, if didn't have a service dog, would have been invited, and honestly could have been in the running to be a bridesmaid. We grew up together and were close growing up. Sometime during college she got a service dog. This is when I stopped hanging out with her outside of family functions. It's a dog for PTSD, and I don't know what the task it's trained for is. I don't know what the cause of her PTSD is either. I just don't like dogs and don't view any dogs favorably. My family knows this and until now had never been an issue. Because of her service dog we just grew apart. There was never any argument or event that happened. Our lives just went separate ways. I also met my fiancé and had a group of college friends I started hanging out with. Before these questions come up, I'm not allergic. I was never bit by a dog. There is no trauma. Dogs just aren't for me. Invites were sent out and I got a message from my cousin asking where her invite was. My aunt, her mom, was talking about my wedding. I told her she wasn't invited and we had to cut the guest list down. She said that I don't get why she didn't make the cut. We were close for a long time and kept pressing. Finally, I told her that I don't want a dog at my wedding. It took her a day to respond to that, but by that point I had heard from my mom and aunt and several family members. I held firm. I'm paying for the whole thing. I'm controlling that day and who is there. I finally compromised and texted my cousin she could come but her dog wasn't invited. That set off a shitstorm for her that came down on me. I answered a call from her and all I heard was yelling on the other end. I hung up. This was followed by many text messages calling me an asshole. I'm a bleist, etc. This drama has been going on for over a week now and it's a few months until the wedding. There is a faction of family that have said they are declining now. They are using my mom to pressure me or pressuring her into not coming. My mom is supporting me because it's my wedding and I'm paying for it. Am I the asshole here?
Am I the asshole for demanding my coworker pay me for a ride to work after many months of giving a free ride? For the last 14 months, I have been driving one of my coworkers to and from work. She only lives a mile up the road from me and is on the way, so I've never asked her for a dime or accepted when she's offered me money. From my perspective, I'm going there either way, and her overall household expenses are higher than my own, so it felt like the thing to do. Over the weekend, my car went to the shop. I told my coworker that I wouldn't be available to give her a ride either Monday or Tuesday. She said it wasn't a problem because her boyfriend is off this week and would give her a ride. I asked if I could bum a ride as well. I even offered to walk to her home so they wouldn't have to drive backwards. She asked her boyfriend about it and he said he would, but he wanted $20 for the 2 days. I know it's just $20, but that set me off. I declined the offer and said I'd find my own ride. At work yesterday, she asked about my car. I told her I'd be getting my car Tuesday night after work, but that going forward I'd like $30 a week, 1/3 my gas costs. If she wanted to ride with me, she was upset about this, and said her boyfriend had only wanted money from me because by having me in the car, he was being forced to drive straight home when he picked me up. I pointed out that I've been happy to drive straight home to help her out for over a year, and that it probably wouldn't have killed him to show me at least some level of appreciation. Today she said she'd no longer be riding with me after talking about it with her boyfriend. She said she felt disappointed with me for holding his actions against her and that I was being petty. A couple other coworkers told me throughout the day that her boyfriend's just an asshole and she doesn't really have a say at home, but overall agreed with me that it was a dick move. From my perspective, this dude directly benefits from me thanks to his girlfriend not needing a car of her own or spending a dime in travel, and my coworker should have defended me. Do you all think I'm being petty about this?
Am I the asshole for yelling at my family for getting me a birthday cake I don't want for the 15th year in a row? Unfortunately, I was born a day after my cousin. Ever since I was little, my needs for my birthday were always outshined by hers. We always did family events to celebrate our birthdays since we're the oldest kids in our family, so we kind of just shared a birthday. We had the same cake. My family either never wrote my name on it, or would messily scribble it on at the last-minute party decorations and games catered to her taste, and mostly all gifts would be for her. I just usually ended up getting a $10 gift card for Walmart or something, while she always got dolls, games for her Nintendo DS, and even a puppy one time. I always felt like that I didn't matter for my birthday, even my quinceañera fell flat, since my family went all out making my cousin feel like the most special girl in the world. But my cousin was always nice to me, and she would give me some of her gifts just to put a smile on my face. This year was my 18th birthday, and all my relatives were gathered in one place to celebrate me and my cousin's birthdays. My mother had promised me my own separate cake, and that it'll be an Oreo ice cream cake, my favorite cake, so I was excited. When my abuela gathered the family together to blow out the candles and sing happy birthday, my cousin and I got in our respective spots. They started singing while my mother brought a cake to the table and placed it in front of my cousin. It was a strawberry cheesecake. After we got done singing, my cousin blew out her candles and everybody clapped. My aunt started to cut the cake, and I would audibly ask about my cake. My entire family looks confused, and they all say this cake is for the both of you. My cousin spoke up, saying, "But it only has my name on it." I looked to my mom, who had a "what?" expression on her face. I asked about the cake, and she told me, "You don't need the extra sugar." At that point, I just lost it, screaming at my family members and calling them all assholes. I cried about how this is the 15th year in a row that they've left me out and forgot about me, and how they ruined my birthday by always prioritizing my cousin. My cousin and little brother also jumped in and defended me, saying that I'm always never thought of. My abuela had the audacity to deliberately interrupt me, telling me to sit down and stop yelling. Through anger, I yelled that I never wanted to see any of them again and stormed off. My cousin and brother followed me, all comforting me while I cried my eyes out. This happened a few days ago, and I've been receiving angry messages from my family members calling me an ungrateful bitch. I'm at my cousin's apartment right now writing this, all while texting my little brother to vent. Reddit. Am I the asshole for yelling at my family for not giving me the cake that I've wanted for nearly my entire lifetime? Edit. After reading the replies, my cousin and I have made the tough decision to block all of the toxic family members and go non-contact. I'll be living at my cousin's apartment now, and we're working on finding me a job.
Am I the asshole for making my parents choose between me and my brother? I am 21, have a brother Tim, 24. Ever since young, he's always bullied me for not being as smart as him, and sneering at my passion for sports. Our parents tried to stop him, but Asian household meant they valued brains over brawn, so he was always the favorite growing up. Less so now as I have a stable job and able to show my worth. I still do love them, but not Tim. He can't bully me as much as I outmuscle and outsize him, but the insults and jabs over 10 years are a sticking point. End of last year, I came out as gay. My parents took time to accept it. Dad is even going to Asian support groups to find out more. Tim, however, went off the rockers, verbally screaming at how I was a disgrace and a shame. I must have ruined our genes, mocking whether I even had a real penis. Mom says that he just needs more time to process, but he's shown none of that, getting worse and joining this religious group at his university. This weekend, I came home late to find my room had been emptied completely. My clothes, posters, all my gym and sport equipment, all my books, everything gone. The only thing intact was my laptop. I asked my parents and they had no idea as they were out, and left the house to Tim and his project group. Called him downstairs, and he said that he was curing my perverted ways and that him and his religious group are going to change me for the better. I won't repeat all he said, but he made a list of everything he threw out and why each made me a pervert. Among the items he threw out was a signed item worth $1,200. I am finally fed up, and straight up told my parents that either he stays or I stay, but I'm not living with someone who hates me. I recounted since young about him bullying, insulting, stealing and ruining my stuff. This wasn't the first. I made it clear that while I love them, if they still supported him ruining my life, I was cutting off contact. I grabbed my laptop and bag, because I had nothing left, and left, staying at a friend's place. I've cooled down, and called my mom saying that I won't cut off contact. But while Tim is still living at home, I won't ever be visiting. She has begged me to reconsider, that we can still fix the relationship, that she and Dad are getting my stuff back. but I'm adamant that I can't coexist with Tim. I have money saved up so I can rent and survive easily enough, so living is not an issue for me, unlike Tim who's still studying. My friends support my decision to move out, but my relatives have been saying that I'm going overboard, that I shouldn't punish my parents for what Tim did, that I should still show filial piety. They all say I'm an asshole for forcing my parents between two sons. Even if Tim is wrong, I am close to my relatives. I have a cousin who may as well be my actual brother, and even he thinks I should not be so aggressive with cutting Tim out. I do feel bad for my parents, but I don't think I'm wrong to get away from that toxicity. Am I the asshole?